Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Pratyahara sits right at the middle of the Bahiranga Yoga and Antaranga Yoga. Bahiranga Yoga is where practices can be seen from outside, means people can see we are following certain moral instructions, doing some purification process, performing asanas, performing breathing exercises or pranayam. And the Antaranga Yoga, which is difficult to validate from outside, which is dharana, which is concentration, meditation or dhyan, and samadhi. Pratyahara sits right between that. Pratyahara comes from the word prati, a and hara. Prati means in response to, observe, opposed to or against. A denotes near or towards, and har denotes bring back properly. Together, it literally means the act of collection or to step purposely in order to attain the right mode of consciousness in a more powerful way. Assimilating ourselves is the simple term I use to convey the idea of Pratyahara. Getting back within, assimilating our life energies so that I can reassess the situation better and employ my life energies in the right direction. According to Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Pratyahara is a state of physical cutting and their respective objects. Swavishaya asamprayoge chittasya Swarupanukar iva indriyanam pratyahara. Swavishaya, in the respective areas of dwelling of whom? Of the indriyas, of the mental faculties. Asamprayoge chittasya, and disconnecting the chitta and the moment of indriyas so that chitta can dwell within. That is the process of pratyahara. Next sutra says that tatah parama vashyata indriyanam. Regular practice of pratyahara lead to attainment of greater control over the senses and functioning of organismic system. So if we have to achieve dharana or dhyan, we need to go through pratyahara. That is the clear instruction by Maharshi Patanjali in Yoga Sutra. Come back to Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita gives excellent practical definition of pratyahara using the allegory or using the example of tortoise. What Bhagavad Gita says, yada sangharate chayam kurmonganiva sarvashah indriyani indriyarthebhyah tasya pragya pratisthita. When like tortoise, which withdraws its limbs from all sides, he withdraws his senses from the sense object, then his wisdom becomes steady. So Lord Krishna is giving example of tortoise, kurmonganiva sarvasha, like tortoise which recollects all its appendages within. Indriyani indriyarthebhya, in the same way, the mental faculties, the indriyas as well as the action faculties, when they are assimilated, brought into within or is centered, in this process wisdom arises. Pratyahara was also mentioned in Upanishad, like Trishikha Brahman Upanishad says, Pratyahara being an introverted state of mind, detachment of senses from respective object. That's what Pratyahara is, detachment of senses from their respective objects, Tejbindu Upanishad says that it is a pleasant state of consciousness that observes the mind preoccupied with the impact of objects of senses. So, as mentioned earlier, Patanjali Yoga Sutra beautifully compiles the wisdom spread in hundreds of Upanishad and many other texts in the form of sutras, and we can actually trace Patanjali Yoga Sutra in the Upanishadic literature as well. These are some examples. In the Shandilya Upanishad and Darshana Upanishad, there are 5 characteristics given about Pratyahara. 1. It is forcible withdrawal of sense organs from object of sensual pleasures with which they interact. 2nd, looking upon everything as one sees as Atman, as true self. That is the outcome of Pratyahara. 3rd, giving up desires to attain the fruits of one's action. That is Pratyahara in action. Turning one's attention away from all material things and thoughts. That is another sign of Pratyahara. And 5th is projection of vital energy, what we call prana, the pranic energy or vital energy, and mind on the 18 vital regions of one's body by shifting attention from one point to another. David Frawley very beautifully summarized that Pratyahara happens at 3 levels: at the physical level, at the level of mental impressions, and at the level of our association. Physical levels, it is most connected to ahar, our food, or whatever we take as food. So that can be the sound, that can be smell, that can be of course taste, and the stuff we take inside. Impressions, these are mental ahar, mental food, which bring in the subtle substances necessary to nourish the mind. So emotions, sensations, thoughts, these create impressions, and these are also connected with the physical food. These can be independent of the physical food or physical aspects of the life as well. They can be more abstract, they can be more into the subjective experience. That also come under the purview of Pratyahara. That also needs to be controlled. And 3rd is Pratyahara at the level of our association. People we hold at the heart level who serve to nourish the soul and affect us with the gunas of Sattva, Raja and Tama. Our association with the different people also brings some samskaras or some impressions. These impressions can be sattvic impressions or related to illumination, light, knowledge, activity. These impressions can be related to rajasic impressions, that can be about ambition, about expansion, about intense activity. These sanskar can be also tamasic in nature, which is more like inertia or inactivity. In our relationships, we keep accumulating these impressions. Pratyahara, that's why, has to be performed at all 3 levels. We need to control our physical food. We need to have Pratyahara or anti-ahar at the impressions level, and we also need to have anti-ahar, Pratyahar at the level of our association, our relationships. Pratyahara is twofold. It is level 1, it is about controlling the inappropriate impressions, physical food and association, and at another level attracting and absorbing right food, right impressions and right relationship or associations. But the process of Pratyahara is about going within, centering, and we are going to look at that. In our senses, controlling our action, controlling our vital energy and withdrawing our mind from the senses, enjoying from the outside.